This is a result of fiscal mismanagement, the same old song and dance routine we hear roughly every 2 years. The existing government reacted to strong economic years with ballooning budgets, fat off the taxes of the micromanaged yet growing cannabis industry, only to cry budget shortfall and need for more taxes when those chickens came home to roost. Spending has grown steadily over the past decade plus, growing government bureaucracy, and with it, the inherent tendency to fund the running of the bureaucracy itself to a greater extent than the problems that they are meant to address. More increased taxation is the worst potential solution by far. Virtually all taxation by nature is regressive and harms our most vulnerable citizens most. I believe the answer is less top-down state control and more devolved governance to communities and self-ownership for individual citizens.
What are my solutions to the state budget problems? You know, in the last few years, our business community has been expected to carry a very heavy burden. In the last 5 years, our state budget has ballooned from $36 billion to $54 billion. We have places in this budget where we've added new agencies, new entitlements, and regulations that limit business access to energy and water. In this coming session, there are many proposals to raise additional taxes to stopgap the $8.8 billion shortfall. My solutions for the 2021 budget is to be sure that we find areas in our budget that can reduce the burdens on business, build prosperity as they recover from COVID, and make sure that we don't add additional taxes.
Both priorities have to do with getting government out of the way of natural human industriousness. First, we need to address how excessive occupational regulation acts as a barrier to entry for people seeking to better themselves in a new career. In many cases, there is no clear public safety interest in requiring huge amounts of occupational training or licensing, and this simply exists as a means for government to profit and their powerful industry allies to artificially limit competition. We also need to decrease excessive regulations that encumber small businesses to start or hinder their operation. The tendency to overregulate stems from cronyism, whereby big business interests lobby for restrictions that they themselves can handle, but threaten the livelihood of competitors who operate on a more modest scale. I oppose all attempts to artificially limit competition or free access to the marketplace.
What are my top 2 priorities? My first priority is to provide liability protections as our businesses recover from COVID. They need certainty that they won't be hit with frivolous lawsuits. So my legislation creates a very high bar to protect our businesses so they can be assured that they can open safely using the guidelines that have been provided. I'm also looking to provide regulatory and tax relief so that very strategically we can find areas to make it easier for our businesses to recover and prosper.
I think it's clear the governor has overstepped his authority here. It is not the role of government to dictate to businesses how they should operate. It is also extraordinarily misguided to create new victimless crimes by forcing citizens to wear masks, particularly in an era of extreme public concern over law enforcement accountability. The key here is personal responsibility. It is proper for the government to encourage distancing and wearing of facial coverings. Businesses would be well within their right to require customers to do so upon entry, and individuals have free choice on whether they wish to be a customer of a business based on their policies or whether to stay home. Authoritarian control orders by the state have put people's livelihoods at risk and run contrary to the principles of individual liberty and self-determination. That is wrong.
How do we balance the needs of keeping our constituents healthy while we open up this economy? Balance is achieved when we trust our people. And we need to get back to the original question. Are we prepared? Are we prepared to care for people who become sick with the coronavirus? Is our hospital system prepared to lessen the severity of the illness and reduce the number of deaths? I say yes. And we need to allow our individuals and communities to make those decisions. Government owes it to us to provide us with good information, accurate information, unbiased information, and to make sure that the supply chains to our hospitals are sufficient and robust. But in the end, we owe it to our people to trust their ability to make prudent decisions.